So you live in a desert, but you love the look of a tropical landscape. I'm gonna give you guys some really cool plants that will give that tropical vibe, but also be able to thrive in more desert conditions. Let's go. So a bit of business here first, just to sort of clarify the term desert, because that is sort of a broad spectrum term and it might mean something different to someone else depending on what geographical location they're in. So for this video, we're really talking about the more arid parts of Southern California and some parts of Arizona, parts of Nevada, New Mexico. So that general sort of bubble, if you will. We're focusing on these areas today because they're challenging areas, especially if you want to create that really lush, vibrant, almost tropical kind of feel. You'll just want to be conscious of what USDA zone you're in and make sure that matches up with the plant. I will be sure to put that information in the description of the video as well as in the video itself. So want to make sure there's no confusion on that. Now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at the first plant, and that is going to be yellow bells. Yellow bells, botanically known as Tecoma stans, is most often seen as a shrub, maybe from about 5 to 6 feet, but in its maturity, it can actually grow into a small to medium-sized tree reaching up to about 20 feet tall. It grows super fast, it's vigorous, it's hardy, it's got beautiful clusters of yellow flowers, and it is just a showstopper when it is in bloom. And the bloom can last from spring all the way through the end of summer. It's incredibly easy to grow, very drought tolerant once it's established, and can take the heat of desert conditions. And it's actually a really versatile plant. You can use it as a background shrub, you can keep it smaller as a bordering plant, or of course, it can grow into a nice tree. And if all that wonderful stuff just isn't enough, it will attract hummingbirds and butterflies to your landscape. This tree is incredible, and it gives that beautiful, lush, vibrant tropical vibe. All right, next one, we have the classic Bougainvillea. Bougainvillea really needs no introduction. I think we've pretty much all seen them at some point in our lifetime. They are a very widely used plant, especially across the Southwest. They are incredibly hardy, fast growing and vigorous, and they provide a blast of color. And there's so many different varieties and so many ways you can use them. Some stay low to the ground, but the majority of the time we see them kind of twining up something as a vine, whether it be some kind of post or arbor. They're usually arching over something and creating this big dramatic effect over an entry, framing some kind of architectural feature. They're just phenomenal plants for high visual interest, especially when they're in bloom. And not only can they thrive in desert conditions, they can thrive in coastal conditions as well. So it's a very wide range of climate that these can grow in. I really personally like the Barbara Karst variety. It's extremely hardy, does well here in Southern California, and it's an incredibly vibrant bloom. You can even add a little bit of phosphorus to your soil and it will make those blooms just pop even more vibrant and more prolific. This is really not for those desert regions that will get much below 20 degrees. So you got to be careful about that. Now, the one downside to Bougainvillea is that it does have thorns, but this is a phenomenal plant to make that desert landscape look a little bit more tropical. All right, next plant on the list, Lantana. Right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you that in some parts of the US, Lantana is considered an invasive species. It grows very rigorously and it can actually naturalize an area. So you really gotta take that into account when you're thinking about where you may want to plant Lantana. It's always a good idea just to cross-reference your local ag department's invasive species list. It's better to check and just make sure you're not planting anything that will be harmful for your region. With that said, this plant can thrive in arid conditions. It is very drought tolerant once it's established, and it has gorgeous, prolific blooms. And there are so many wonderful varieties ranging from reddish to yellow to purple and everything in between. There are just so many options for Lantana. For those desert landscapes where you need color and vibrancy, this will do the trick. It will sort of push it over into that more tropical kind of feel. Some Lantanas stay a little bit more tidy and compact, and some tend to be a little bit more unruly as they grow out. So just be conscious of what variety you're planting and ultimately, where it's going to be in the landscape. Do you want it to sort of stay a little bit more tame, or do you have a big area to cover that it doesn't really matter too much if it tends to want to just sprawl and go? So just be aware of what variety you're planting and what it's going to do as it matures. And another great thing about Lantana, it will bring swarms of butterflies to your landscape, and that is always a bonus. I should also note that Lantana does have some toxins to it, so if you have a pet that tends to want to chew on foliage, this might not be the one for you. But all in all, Lantana is a nice plant, it's easy to care for, and provides a long-lasting bloom that does give that more tropical kind of effect. All right, the last one here, I'm really excited about it, one of my favorite plants, and that is Caesalpinia. There's a few different common names for Caesalpinia: pulcherrima, peacock flower, pride of Barbados, Mexican bird of paradise, red bird of paradise, but whatever you want to call it, it is incredible. The blooms are so prolific and vibrant. Flower clusters are a beautiful orange-red that will generally appear later in the summer. Now, besides the blooms themselves looking absolutely spectacular, the foliage is really nice too. It's kind of a soft fern-like appearance. The leaves are super interesting. They're binnately compound on a very rigid woody stem that has thorns. Be careful when you're clipping and maintaining this. They can get up to 10 feet tall or more, so they can actually be trimmed into a small accent tree. And they actually really have a nice branching structure. I recommend to use this as a single specimen in the landscape and plant other smaller growing shrubs and perennials around it. And like all the plants we're talking about here, this can definitely take that harsh desert landscape. In more mild climates, Caesalpinia will actually stay evergreen. But since we're talking about more desert-like climates, it will go deciduous. It'll lose all its foliage in the cool months and it'll just be sticks. But the foliage will come back, it'll look gorgeous, it'll fill all those sticks up and eventually pop some beautiful reddish-orange flower clusters. And the maintenance is relatively low on these guys. Not really a whole lot to do. You might want to consider hard pruning them back maybe once every year or two just to keep that foliage coming back nice and tight. And that wraps us up for another video. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have experience with other plants that kind of give that tropical vibe in a more arid climate, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification so you know when a new video comes out. I will see you guys on the next one, and as always, happy planting.